Welcome to Coffee with the Chair. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It is our pleasure, our honor to do this event every fourth Friday of the month at 8:30 a.m. right here at the SLC TV studios. It's free. It's open to the public. We start all our time here every month with our sponsor, but then, of course, we'll be visiting with the chair. That's the Board of County Commission Chair, Franny Hutchinson. So we'll be with her in just a few moments. Let me start with my partner, my friend, and our sponsor, more importantly, for this show.
I feel like I'm the warm-up act.
You do?
That's what you just described. Like, we're going to sit with Sean.
So
He's
no
going to warm up the
pressure.
audience, and
Yes.
then we're going to bring on the
No
main
pressure,
performer.
but bring the funny. So please welcome Sean Boyle from the Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So the Children's Services is our partner in the show every other month for
Right.
the entire year, which we're excited about.
Sort of a commitment. Every other month we're committed.
Yeah, lukewarm commitment.
Yeah.
We're dating.
Yeah.
But we are going to talk a little bit today about the summer because that's coming up. It's June. People are getting out. Well, they're already out for school.
It's raining every day.
It is
It's
raining
summer.
every day. It's
Yes,
summer
yes.
every day at 4. But yeah, the sun pokes through. We don't want our kids wet, and we don't want them on the street. So what are you going to do about it?
Right. Well, wow, what a good segue. so it's the end of the summer because I'm just going to throw this out there. I have a high school senior who graduated yesterday.
Yes, you do. We saw
Yeah,
it on
and
our
I know
Facebook.
Eric's not here because
Congratulations to you
of,
and your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a congratulations. But it's the summer.
Is it not?
No, it is. It is.
Okay, good.
It's the summer. Kids are getting out of school, and one of our priorities, our biggest priority, we have 5 priorities. I won't go over them again, but our biggest priority is
Okay.
keeping kids off the streets.
Yep.
So during the school year, we fund after-school programs, Boys and Girls Club, Frontline for Kids, 16 locations, 13 agencies. But in the summer, we expand that. So all of our after-school programs turn into summer camps.
Right.
And then we made available an additional 12. And I talked to some teenagers a couple of weekends ago because some of our programs are geared towards teens because obviously teens need something to do as well.
Right. They're the ones that we probably should keep off the street.
And exactly. And what I learned was you don't call them summer camps, the teens.
No.
No.
No, it makes them feel like a baby.
Right. So I learned that the proper wording is summer experiences. So we are currently expanded to 13 additional summer experiences in our community.
Okay, so they don't feel bad about doing it.
Right. So we have one, for example, that the teenagers, the young men and women,
There you go.
will go into a studio not unlike this. They produce a TV show and a radio show and do a podcast and learn about photography.
Wow, that sounds like free labor.
I know. I want to go to it.
I know it. We should
We learn.
get hooked up with them.
Right.
Yeah,
So the other thing that we're doing in the summer, and this is something that we've been doing, I would say, for at least the last 10 years. And I always bring this up because when I was growing up in the summer, I spent my summer with my grandparents. Now, being a parent, I understand now my parents' rationale for doing that. They needed a break, right?
Yes.
But I went and spent my summer with my grandparents, and we would go to the movies in the summer. We never really went to the movies during the school year, but in the summer, my grandfather particularly, would take me to the movie. And that was probably some of the best shared experiences I had with my grandparents. So what we do every single summer to give kids something to do, but also give parents and grandparents an opportunity to bond with their children is we sponsor the dollar movies at the Treasure Coast Mall.
Yep.
So it's been so popular. It only costs $1 to get in that they're expanding that to, it's going to be offered 3 days a week during the summer.
That's fantastic.
And they start at 10 a.m., right? If anybody that has kids know that they're up
usually
at the crack of dawn anyway, so 10 a.m. is no big deal.
Yeah.
But it's only $1 to get in, and really, where else can you go to see a movie for $1? You can't even rent a movie for $1.
You cannot. And it's usually special movies. It's geared towards kids. It's some good name movies,
Yeah,
though.
it's definitely PG-13 or
below. Yeah.
And they're usually, fairly new movies. So, Star Wars isn't going to be one of those movies. But, recently released movies are going to be there, and they definitely would hold the kids' attention. And a lot of the movies are also based on books. So it's a good opportunity to introduce or kind of segue into, you enjoyed the movie, but this is also a book. Enjoy the book as well.
Are you doing a summer reading program?
We always do that. We do summer reading programs, or we do reading programs all year round. But what we're going to do is, in the last few years, we've partnered with the Mets on a really hot Saturday. It always ends up being the hottest day of the year. No matter what day we pick, it's always the hottest day of the year.
It's a Saturday. And you call it Sundays in the Park.
Yeah, well, Sundays is for the ice cream.
I know.
It's spelled differently. and it's usually from 10 to 2, and it's really hot. And well, I think everybody that comes gets free books, and there's ice cream, but it's usually hot, and people are miserable. They're standing in line. So we're getting smarter. The whole point of that event is to get books into the hands of kids, particularly during the summer. So what we are going to do is we're working out a partnership with the Mets. On Monday evening games, kids get in free. So we're going to give out books to every kid that comes to a Monday evening game during the summer. And then we're also going to identify certain child care centers in our community that are maybe in some economically disadvantaged areas, and make sure those kids get multiple books throughout the summer.
And you have books at doctor's office and other places where they can take a book, leave a book, all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely.
Too, right?
One of our strategies to address literacy, and it's, everything that we do is research-based. I won't go too far in the weeds, but access to reading material. So children in middle to high income households, there's usually 12 books for every child. In low-income areas, there's 1 book for every 300 kids. So we want to change that. So we set up little libraries. We currently have, I believe, over 60 little libraries throughout the community, in churches. They're at the tax collector when you're waiting to get Port St. Lucie utilities, laundromats. And so it's libraries, and we furnish the library and with new books. And then when the kids are there, they read the book, and then they can take the book home with them. And then we get donated books from the community, and we restock those books all the time. And the whole purpose is to encourage family reading, but more importantly, to get books into the home.
And I love that program, too. Do you
and
need
anybody
volunteers?
can be involved.
I was just going to say, I'm sure you need people to help stock those books.
If you have books that you're wanting to donate, if your kids are all grown. I was just talking to Marie, and we were talking about how our kids are all grown. And if you're like me, you've got all the memory books and stuff in your garage. If you're not using them, if they're gently used children's books, because we have gotten some gently used adult books that weren't really appropriate.
A lot of we asked for donations. We got a lot of 50 Shades of Grey.
I've got lots of encyclopedias from the 60s too. But if you have a gently used children's books, you can donate them to us. If you go to the website stluciereads.org, all that information is there. Or if you have a place of business where people wait, if there's a waiting area, we will be happy to come and set up a little library. It sits on a desk table just like this, and we'll stock it with all new books, and then you let us know. The utilities office, they call us like every 2 weeks. They're like, we're out of books, we're out of books. So we're there all the time.
I'm glad that they keep on top of it, and they see that it's going out. Well, we're doing the event with Larry Lee, Representative Larry Lee, again on August 3rd. It's a Friday night. We're going to have kids get in free that night, and we're hoping you'll come out and give out some books at that one too. And all the school board employees will again.
That's a fun. You did that last year.
We did, and we had booths, and we're going to have booths again. So if we could have you out there giving out books, we'd love that too. All of this, keeping kids off the streets. Where can they go to find out about these programs?
All of this, as well as all of our programs and our 5 priorities.
Every Baby's a Healthy Baby, keeping kids off the street, keeping kids off of drugs and alcohol, keeping kids in school, and stopping child abuse before it happens.
Wow. Not the order that I go in, but that's pretty good.
It's not the right order, but it is the right
We've hung out a few times.
Sean's been on a couple of my shows.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But you can go to our website, www.cscslc.org. It's the acronym for Children's Services Council, St. Lucie County. Or if you have an iPhone or an Android, we actually have an app.
We got an app for that.
Exactly. It's the whole reason why we got it, so we could say that.
Yep,
but all the programs are on there.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us. Thank you for bringing us all this great information.
Absolutely.
And we are going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Board of County Commission Chair Franny Hutchinson. Welcome back to Coffee with the Chair. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It is our honor and privilege to do this event every 4th Friday of the month, 8:30 a.m., free, open to the public. So come on down. We throw in pastry and cafe con leche, courtesy of Mervis Cafe, right in downtown Fort Pierce. We love them. Brandy and I always are the first in line out there when it arrives. But we'd love to have you come down and try it too. Just remember, 4th Friday of the month, 8:30 a.m. I'm going to introduce my co-host for this show. It is the one, the only Board of County Commission Chair. She's been a commissioner for such a long time here, and such a power player and passion project a person that we go to when we really want to see something done. This is the lady to go to. It's the one, the only Franny Hutchinson.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good morning.
I say
And you're
that,
right. Don't talk to me till I grab that
I know.
coffee.
Oh, Franny and I are like, okay, people are talking to me. Let me get the good. But I say that about you because we are getting real close to that VA nursing
Yes.
home,
Yes.
and that was such a passion project of yours. And at our legislative wrap-up, Senator Negron gave you huge kudos for your work on that project.
And-
So I
and
want
as much
people
as
to
that is
know.
nice, I have to keep reminding everybody, it wasn't one person. It was the whole team, the whole community that came together. That's what got done.
It is, but we know how much you fought for it. And then Mr. Teagarden and his book of grants, geez,
Right,
that poor man
pages,
too.
yes.
So yes, I know he
Yeah.
did a lot of work as well. But thanks for that, because
Thank
what
you.
are we thinking for the VA?
They're thinking it was going to take about 8
Okay.
before they're open. Now, with the recent rains, in any construction, things can come in time frames and delays and all of that. So I'm going
Yeah.
to be optimistic 2 years.
You're just okay. Very good. It's
county's
better
not in
to
control,
under
yeah.
promise and over deliver.
Right.
But the rain has been nonstop. We needed it. We had a drought experience, but we have maybe overcorrected just a tiny bit.
Well, in saying that, it's actually one of those. This is a perfect time to get into this discussion. We have another one just waiting right off the shores.
Yes, we
of
do.
Florida on
Nothing
there,
but a
and-
rainstorm, that guy, Alberta.
Well, we'll see if he stays a rainstorm.
I know. For us, he should mostly be rain.
Yeah, but it looks like we're almost going to, at least if you want to believe the weathermen, that we'll be the ones catching.
Well,
the
since
Treasure
this
Coast.
airs in June, we're going to say it was just a little rain, and it
Get ready.
scurried
Yeah.
right up the Gulf, and we were highly unaffected by it.
But just because that happened doesn't mean that June 1st is not around the corner.
Yes,
And
I mean we're on Alberta,
that's-
as
and
you
that
know.
is-
The
yeah.
storms are A to Z. We're at storm 1.
And this is a perfect time, and I'm really glad from the timing perspective to remind everybody today about getting ready for hurricanes.
Yeah.
And it's both just personal, but it's also the business community, because there's a huge difference in preparations that a business has to go through versus their home.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, June 1st through the 7th, the state will be offering their tax-free hurricane prep buying time frame.
And what is included in hurricane? Like, is it water? Is it gas? What is? It's
You
not
would
gas.
ask
They're
me
not going to give
this.
me tax-free
No,
gas,
no,
but
and I actually found out this morning. I was actually looking it up because I have a generator on my mind. That maybe this is the year I break down and get one. But it's generator $750 and under. You don't pay the
so
sales
if you
tax.
want to
So
watch
if you want the biggies,
yeah, you
you're
want
not
something to
getting this.
actually run something.
I'm
No,
going, I don't think that's a very big generator.
it's not.
So, but the important thing is I'm not quite sure. I know batteries are on there and flashlights and all those
Okay.
things. And if you all are like me, I was going through my batteries looking for some to use where I had stocked up in the past several years on them and thinking I don't have to go back. Well, you better check them because I had a whole pack that was literally dead.
Oh, really?
So there is a time frame on batteries. So just
Oh.
because you've got them from last year or the year before, do yourself a favor and double check them in case you need to buy some.
And those will be tax-free this month?
Yes.
Because I go through a lot of batteries. I've been through a lot of storms, as you as well, and I haven't even been here as long as you, and I've been through enough to know that so much of my house is battery operated, I can't even tell you.
Oh, there's not only that, but now one of the things last year I found out, and we won't talk all batteries, but these are just little hints. Those little candles you can buy that you put the
Yeah.
battery in, and they light up. They just give a little glow that you use for table decorations. Those come in real handy during hurricanes.
They do.
Instead of lighting candles, they're a lot safer,
They are.
and it's enough of a glow at least to give you a night light. if you will.
Ambiance.
Yeah.
A little
there
bit
you
of
go.
ambiance. So June 1st to the end of June.
No,
where-
June 1st, June 7th.
Oh,
is
it's
the
only a
state.
week.
Yes, they
Okay.
had contemplated 2 weeks out of the year, but it actually got voted.
Where
in.
can
It's
they
just
go
one.
to read the list of what's
The
tax?
state site? I think the county's going to put it on our sites.
Okay.
On our website, which kind of leads me into where the county's role is and work with the community. So it's more to get the word out on preparation.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, we've all just got a good dose of the flooding and the winds and this type of thing. And that wasn't even a storm. That was just
It was just
typical
rain.
Florida
Yeah.
rain. But now's the time to go out, check your culverts, because we're finding out now recently the phone calls coming in with
Mhm.
my yard's flooded, blah, 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 it's not draining. A lot of times, time of year where your culvert's been stacked up with mowing clippings and just dirt and so forth, go check them and see if you need help flushing it out, contact the county. And if it's within our ability to go out there and clean it out, if it's not in, well, how should I say, close to getting replacement needed,
Okay.
we can help to blow
You can
those
help
out.
that.
And sometimes,
Do you have to live in the county for that? Like, do you have to be county jurisdiction? Like,
kind of, yes.
I think you kinda
yeah,
do.
because the cities run their own.
they do, and in the city of Port St. Lucie, I think most residents are in charge of their own culvert to some
Right.
degree. So you need
Right.
to make sure you're checking that. You can still call Public
Well,
Works
we're not going
for-
to do on every one of them,
Yeah.
type of thing, but a lot of it is, if how it affects the drainage throughout the neighborhood
It
that you're in.
does. It does, yeah.
so
Because
we'll
if
go
you're
through
the
and
one
check.
that's backing everybody else up, then we need to get it
Yes,
taken care of.
exactly.
And then there's a lot of the regular household stuff people need to do. Clip your trees, do it now.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. I feel like I touched a
I
nerve
know.
there.
Well, yes and no. The best thing I can give you is don't wait to trim. Don't wait. And I'll give you a lot of reasons why. First off, everybody's doing it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The garbage collection, trash collection, they are out busy. Main storm starts approaching, and they are out actively picking up right and left. And a lot of times, people put out at the last, they tend to have to go back 3 and 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a safety issue for the residents within your neighborhood, plus your own home.
Mhm.
If they don't get to it in time, and that storm and those trucks are called off the streets, that debris is going to fly. And it could fly into your home, your car.
Yeah,
However
it's
you wanna-
counterproductive if you do it too
It
late
is.
because
It
you're
is.
doing it so that you know these are low and they could be damaging, and so you clip them, and now they're definitely
Well,
going
one
to
of
blow.
the other things we have found out and learned over the years is where you place that debris. And so if it's too close to mailboxes, it can't get picked up in the machine.
Yeah, because they're going
If
to damage
it's
your
under the
mailbox.
power lines, which is a huge issue, those claws, if you will, on the machines can't pick it up because of the power lines. So find a place that's where it can be picked up and put there, and it's not on an empty lot. They do not pick up on empty lots.
They don't?
No. But you'd be surprised how many calls we get in where people just go and dump at an empty lot, and it's free flying once those winds kick
Yeah.
in, because their priority, as well it should be, is the residential homes and businesses themselves. And this is the same, the same could be said for a business. If you have ownership of a business or a building,
Mhm.
check the debris, check where the garbage cans are, check for tree trimming around those, just importantly, and swells usually.
Yeah.
Some businesses have swells in front of their
Hurricane shutters, now's the time because
Now's the
once we
time.
get a named storm, I mean, we kind of do now, but I don't think we're running out. That's when they run out of hurricane shutters.
Well, there's that, and how many of you lose the screws?
Oh, okay.
that
Yeah.
that some of them have to be screwed in, and you lose them and think, well, I'm going to replace them, and you forgot to.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that a lot of the Home Depots and hardware stores will run out of. So double check those. Now's the time. Make sure you've got all the right screws, and you're not being rushed out there.
The reality is you have a really high percentage of needing them this year, so you might as well go get them now.
Right.
So you're not
And-
standing in line at Home Depot for plywood in the 11th hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Do all your measuring and stuff now, and then once you're prepared, it frees you up to go help your neighbor or somebody else who needs additional help.
And we usually talk about that when we get closer to how to help your neighbors and what you can do to get out. Let's talk about businesses for a moment and what they
Okay.
need to do to get ready for a storm.
Well, of course, it's being able to lock it up, check where your debris container is,
Mhm.
or if it's a garbage can, if it's huge dumpsters, those are usually safe on the ground. But if you have, some businesses will have concrete planters out in their front of their doorways or something, and you might want to move them up closer to the house, because it doesn't take a whole lot to pull a plant out, and then that container goes flying.
Yeah.
kind
And
of
have a
thing.
plan for your employees, a contact point for your employees. There should be some sort of operations in place.
And you're hitting on a prime point of rotate through and let your employees only as good as you let them be. And if you give them the security of going home and getting their house secure,
Mhm.
they will come back and be much more relieved instead of jumping out. And touching base with them during and after the storm is huge. there's a lot of companies that now, like you said, keep a master list,
Mhm.
check in to make sure their employees are safe or if they're in need of anything
Mhm.
to help, because we can't be everywhere, and it's just a good neighbor type
Yeah.
of.
And Facebook is a good way to keep in touch as well. Your social media.
You've been reading my notes
I
over
didn't,
here.
I promise. I couldn't read that if I had to. It's so small.
No, well, it is, and I will apologize. Eric was going to be here with us, who is our PR, the voice of hurricanes and storms, if you will.
Yes, he is.
And
All over social
he
media.
had graduation today, so that was, of course,
yeah,
as
his
much
daughter
more important.
graduated.
No offense to anybody.
But I think she
But,
graduated middle school or something. It's not high school.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's still
okay.
graduation.
All right.
It's still a milestone.
I'm on the
you have
fence
to
about
meet.
that.
Kindergarten one, okay. That's
Like,
your
what are
prep
your
for young
options? You're done now? Yeah. I don't love it.
Join me on Tuesday when I go give my graduation speech to an 8th grade class. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Are you really? What are you going to
'cause
say?
well, you know what? I haven't decided yet. I figured I'd take the weekend and go over it.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like, I remember 8th grade graduation.
We
So it
didn't have
wasn't.
8th grade graduation. You weren't.
You got cheated.
No. There's no option. 9th grade
Come
is
and
next.
I'll let you walk down the aisle in a gown.
I might do that just
there
for
you
fun.
go. One of the things from the county's perspective is going to be our communication, which is a huge thing. And I'm going to read from notes. I have
Okay.
a lot of detail, if that's okay. It's important in your preps to go ahead and sign up for St. notifications or emergency notifications. You'll get those email, phone, or text, or all three if needed. And you can do that and I know they're going to put this up on the screen, so if you don't catch it, it'll be there. stluciecounty.gov/alert.
Okay.
And you can sign up and get those coming through to you. Our information hotline, which is open, it's run out of EOC, and so
Mm-hmm.
will be 772-460-HELP, which is 4357. That is a good way to get information in an approaching storm, or if what's closed, what roads are closed, can we get out yet? Because sometimes they'll put on a mandatory, stay home
Yeah.
in certain cases.
Okay.
Of course, our social media,
Yep.
Facebook, Twitter,
Live post from Facebook.
Instagram,
Yeah.
all of those.
Very
And you can
informative.
actually take pictures now that we've got it. We can actually take pictures in your neighborhood of severe flooding, posted on there so we know get there, as soon as it's safe
Nice.
to get out. Our briefings, they will be streamlined. They will be live during a storm when the EOC has been activated.
Mm-hmm.
And our time frames are going to be at 8 a.m. in the morning, noon, and 5 o'clock every
That's when you
day.
find St. Lucie County
St.
on the
Lucie
local
County.
stations.
And the reason why is because this way all the other counties
Have their times
have their
too.
times also.
And
so
people
nobody's
know when to
crossing.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like it.
If you have to turn on that battery-operated radio.
Or if, in my
turn
case,
it
you
on
got
the
that
inconsol-
crank.
There you go. Those work.
They
I was
do work,
surprised.
and they're
That
very
short
helpful.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that short
But
time.
I'm not. I need to know I need to tune it on at 8.
At that time.
Yeah.
Right, so you're not running your batteries
Yeah.
down. Yeah. Let's see. In the past, we've won a lot of awards for our communication abilities during the storms.
Yep.
And that's something that we're very proud of, but more importantly, we hope to get people to understand how important it is to listen to that.
Yeah.
So
And we talked
We're
utilities a little bit yesterday on a different show that I did. FQA was the guest, and they talked about how they don't turn off power anywhere.
Right.
Don't worry about that. Nobody does that here in St. Lucie County. If your power goes off, your neighbor might not have it. It's the luck of the draw.
there you go.
Welcome to Florida, and they'll get there.
And they do.
And
And
they
it's
got
gotten
there
and
quite
it's gotten
quick.
much better.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't that many days that everybody was out with Irma.
No, Irma impacted the entire state incredibly, and we were out power 7 days. Now, Francis and Jean was,
I was out 3 weeks.
yeah, that was a
So,
rough one.
Yeah.
But I feel like for FPNL to have to service the whole state, they got to us rather quickly, and FQA got theirs back up within 5 days. So
Yeah. So
we're,
the other part of that is, while we're talking on that, is if you're not able to stay at home because of the fear of the power, or you're somebody that's your power's going to go out,
Mhm.
or for anything, we have the shelters.
Mhm.
And most importantly, we have the special needs shelter
Just right here in the
right
county.
here, right across the street from our location right now at the Finn Center. We're never going to turn anybody down unless there's lack of room, but it is important. And go ahead and register
Yes.
and let them know you're coming so that they can make sure the space is available along with whatever special you may need.
Whether you
know.
need electrical equipment to keep your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things we did last year for the first time, we had 2, I believe it was, pet-friendly shelters.
Yes.
And I
think it was.
that's the intent.
See, we
again
don't have
this year.
Eric to be our
I know.
voice
I
of.
think we ended up opening 2,
Yeah.
one North County and one South County areas, and those will be available again this year if needed.
Yeah, a lot of us won't leave without our pet.
Right, and they said there was a lot of people that came
Yeah.
with their
It's
pets,
part
which
of
was good.
my issue too. I
Yeah.
won't leave without my pet. I know it. We're going to take some questions from the audience. Maybe on anything. There's what else is going on in the county? We're
Approaching budget season for the county commissioners.
Yeah.
Our staffs have already been working on that, so we'll be going over those, and the public is welcome to sit through those conversations. It'll be held in July. Dates are still being narrowed down.
Okay.
It's usually the middle week of July.
good.
So,
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Commissioner Franny Hutchinson, our board chair, or any questions about anything? Oh my gosh, they're very
wow,
quiet today.
they are extremely
All right. No, we got one.
quiet.
Okay. All right, Marie.
Hi, mine's more of a suggestion.
Yeah.
You were talking about the battery-operated candles. I recommend that you have a high-quality solar power outdoor light that you might put along your walkway, and that really comes in handy before and after the hurricane when your shutters are still up and your house is really dark. You put that out during the day, and then you can bring it in the house at night. You don't have to worry about running out of a battery or lighting a match for light.
Yes,
And that's a good point.
Mhm.
And I've done that before, camping, but I've realized you can use it at home. But I will tell you something, and this isn't meant to be negative towards your suggestion. Actually think it's a good one. But how many of you noticed that we went so many days without sun? My solar lights quit lighting up. at
Yes,
night because
mine too.
We had no sun.
Not enough sun.
Yeah.
My backyard is littered with solar lights, and none of them are coming on.
Yeah. So, but I think, most of the time, once the storm's gone, that sunlight's out, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
the heat kicks in and everything else. So.
Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, up front. Mike's coming with the microphone. Mike's coming with the mic.
Hello, this one is also a suggestion, actually not a tip, something that I heard recently. I haven't tested it yet, so I can't verify it, but if you have a screen enclosure and a hurricane is coming, somebody told me recently that what they did last year was they had someone remove one panel from each side of the screen, and so when the winds came, most of the wind just got funneled through whatever, the missing panel was, and it actually prevented their other panels from being blown down, so I thought that was pretty cool.
I've heard of that before. I think
Yeah.
a lot of them you can have them where they're just
There may be some
movable.
science to that.
Yeah.
I can't prove it either, but I believe that
Yeah.
there might be some science. Yeah. Susan?
I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning. I know it's almost summer, but still, a lot of spring cleaning.
I'm with you. I haven't even started.
Yeah. And when you mentioned about switching out your batteries, checking if they're still working, it brought to mind, I have a lot of batteries I need to get rid of, but I don't know where to take old batteries. I know this
Oh, that's a
is
good
way
question.
off topic, but
No, it's not. The county has in their collection, they've got a hazardous
Materials.
material
Mhm.
collection site out at the
Dump,
landfill.
landfill. I want to
But
say
you
dump,
could
but
do-
I don't think
know.
I'm allowed to say dump. But you know what you do there?
Landfill.
You dump stuff.
Yes,
Just say.
yes.
But it's a
So
landfill.
there is a location out there at itself.
When you
Thank
first
you.
roll up, there's a little place. And then in the city of Port St. Lucie, they often have drives. Public Works will have drives where they'll put it out to the public that you can bring your hazardous materials in. Some paint, some batteries, that sort of thing. So you need to make sure that you're on these websites and checking for dates, and even call Public Works in either city or the county to get the dates of that.
okay, thank you.
Flashlight batteries.
Wait 1 second, Gary. We got to get the microphone over there. Otherwise, people at home
As
just
I understand it, flashlight batteries can be put in the regular garbage. It's the hazardous batteries that you want to follow the rules.
Right.
yeah, automobile
Right.
batteries, that sort of thing.
And even your cell phones are considered an old cell phone with a battery in it that's considered hazardous.
Yeah, yeah. But your standard issue AA's and that sort of thing can be thrown in the trash. Very good. Thank you for that.
And he is
'cause
correct
that's-
about that. Standard, regular old batteries can be thrown away. I
Yeah.
have checked with the landfill about that. But things like your lithium or nickel-cadmium batteries, those are the ones that need to be taken out to the dump.
Yep. Good. Very good. Anybody else have a question for our board chair today? Boy, we really were good. We're going to do a trivia question.
Great.
All right. We talked about a lot of storms. Shoot, I don't want to go negative. I was going to have them name a
Okay.
storm, but I'm thinking, no, we really don't want to do that, do we?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
I don't
what's a
even want to know what the names are.
I
yet
know,
this
we're
year.
trying so hard to forget, and I'm going to award them for remembering. So what do we have that's storm-related that is a positive thing? Okay,
The dates of the hurricane sales tax.
okay, very good. Who can tell me? I have a $20. Oh,
Wow, hands
boy,
go up.
boy, you say $20. I don't even think we said the question. We alluded to it. Now I feel like I'm just going to switch it up. We're going to do a different question. But no, a $20 Berry Fresh gift card to whoever can tell me what the sales tax dates are. And I feel, Marie, have you won something here before? Never. Okay, and you asked a question, so we'll let Marie do it.
The sales tax forgiveness is the first week of June, June 1st through June 7th.
Yes.
She's going
there
to
you
Berry
go.
Fresh. Very good.
Thank you.
Berry Fresh is one of our partners out in St. Lucie West. Anything else we want to talk about before we let people go today?
No, just stay safe. I won't talk about what's coming down the road weather-wise over the weekend because we'll be airing all month long.
Yeah, we'll
But,
be in June.
just go home. It's at least spend the time this weekend if you're in the house due to the rain and can't join in a lot of the festivities or plans throughout the county. Now's the time. This is the weekend to make that list up
Yeah.
and double check things.
And I'm going to give our audience a tip. A really great place to go get your hurricane shutters is the restores, the Habitat for Humanity
Yes, they are.
restores. But I'm hoping that I can get there before this airs. So it doesn't get cleaned out. My husband's going to kill me because we do need a couple more windows. But it's a great place and it's a great cause. So if you're looking to
Yeah,
get some,
there's that, and just one other little quick tip. I know none of us like to think blue tarps, but you need to consider at least having a tarp of
on
some
hand.
size on hand. If a window was to break or blow out or something, or a small leak starts, it's a good way to preserve what you have during a storm if you've got it in the house.
It
with you
is.
already.
How many of you, though, shivered when she said blue tarps?
I know, but I wasn't talking about those kind of tarps. But that seems to be the color if you go to buy
It
one. It's a
evokes such
blue.
a guttural emotion, blue tarps.
It does,
Because
it
if you were
does.
here during
But those
Francis and
small
Jean,
those small tarps, you know, you can put it in the house, and you'd be surprised how often you use them during the year.
yeah,
You know that they come in handy. So.
it would be. Well, actually, if you go to the landfill, you can see there is one layer from that time period that they're excavating now. You know, they go back through and they get some recyclables out. It is largely blue tarps,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so it's very obvious when that was put into the landfill.
Yes,
But
it
it's
was.
interesting,
But it's also,
nonetheless.
unfortunately, that was one of the just really quick.
Sure.
We could go on all this prep. Get all your paperwork in order. That, you know, your insurance paperwork, anything that you would need if you had to leave or evacuate your home, or that you're going to need as a follow-up phone calls, checking account numbers and all that. Put it in a waterproof bag and keep it where you can get it if you have to leave, or where it will not get wet.
Yeah, that's just good. You live
Yeah.
in Florida. Do that for all your valuables
There you
anyway.
go.
Yeah, good advice. Well, thank you to the audience for joining us today. Thank you to Mervis Cafe, one of my favorite places in the world, for giving us coffee in Danish. Thanks to Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County and Sean Boyle and his staff. And it looks like we're down to 2 people in the studio because we're so automated, but Mike and Flynn, thank you as
They
well.
all do a great job.
They do a great job. It's all remote control these days now, too. But and of course, thank you to our Board of County Commission Chair, Franny Hutchinson. And we'll see you next month, everybody.